Hi, and welcome to another edition of In Brandon. Today we're going to be talking with folks from the library. With me today we have Shelly Mortensen, the Chief Librarian, and Danielle Hubbard, the Assistant Librarian, and Programming and Outreach Services. So, why don't you let us know a little bit what's going on at the library this summer? I know you guys try to focus on the educational aspect of keeping, the kids learning and, preventing from that learning slide that goes on in the summer.
Yeah, the library has run summer reading programs for years, and we target children who aren't reading on their own, so with a program called Read to Me, encouraging parents to share books with their kids, and then also for readers, kids who are reading on their own, and then for teens. And now we've extended to an adult reading program as well. So this year the theme is Canada. And so we have lots of emphasis with Canada's birthday, so lots of Canadian symbols around the library, and kids are keeping track of what they read and earning prizes and entries into draws and that kind of thing. So it always kind of encourages the kids to keep going so they're ready for the next grade when they get there.
Right, and what about kids who don't read yet?
Yeah, that's the Read to Me level. So those kids get stickers for every time they borrow 5 books, and they get an entry in the draw when they take out 15 and get to earn incentives. And if they borrow 45 books over the summer, then they get a free book that the library has purchased for them. So kind of encouraging the parents to share the books, and then that's kind of that pre-kindergarten preparation too, where they can learn about the joys of sharing literacy.
Right, and you do more than just reading books and stuff like that. You do crafts and stuff. How does that help the kids learn?
Yeah, we do. I think you're working on the small group settings, so kids are getting used to working as part of a group, for sharing, for learning how to put things together, assembling pieces of the crafts, because often they're multi pieces. So we're running a program called Busy Beavers. That's for 4 to 8-year-olds, and so that involves stories and then activities and crafts that go along with that. So yeah, and they get to be creative, sometimes making their own things, sometimes following more of a pattern of what we've come up with, but you always get the eyes aren't necessarily where we would have put them, but that's okay, because they put it together and they're happy with it. So yeah.
Picasso never had the eyes
exactly.
where they were supposed to be.
Exactly.
So how do parents and kids get involved with these programs? How do they sign up for them?
That's involves just coming down to the library and just coming to the Children's Services desk, and then they can sign up to participate. So some kids, when they're tracking their reading, will come in every week. Sometimes they'll just sign up and then they go away to the cottage for the summer and come back before the program ends. And with the craft programs and activity programs, we let kids and parents pick the weeks that they're available. So if they're going to be away 2 weeks in August, they cannot sign up for those ones, but they can sign up for the other weeks that they're around.
Now, what do we have for the older kids and the teenagers and stuff?
Yeah, we're trying to do more programming for older youth this summer at the library. I just want to say I'm Danielle, and thank you so much, Dave, for having us on the show. But yeah, this year we have the summer reading program that Shelly's talked about, and then for the 8 to 12 age range, there's a variety of programs happening this year. So for the month of July, there's a creative writing program that I'm facilitating for 8 to 12-year-olds, which doesn't have any crafts involved, but it just encourages kids to be creative and explore writing and explore ideas. And I really want it to be different than at school, so it's not focusing on grammar and correctness. It's more like enjoying literacy and
the process of writing.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, just being creative with the whole process.
Yeah, because I think unless people feel that creative part of it, they're not going to be excited to come back and write more if it feels like another critical enterprise similar to school. And so we have that program, and then I'm starting a youth book club at the library as well. So that will meet once a month over the summer, and it will hopefully continue into the fall, although it'll depend on staffing resources and scheduling and things like that. But that's again for the 8 to 12-year-olds, and so they'll read a book each month, and then we'll get together and discuss the book and do some activities surrounding the stories that we've read. So again, I'm trying to make it like a welcoming and fun environment for the kids. And then in August, there will also be a cartooning program. So it'll be like drawing cartoons and writing the text for cartoons for youth, the 8 to 12-year-olds, and then also for teenagers. And teenagers are always somewhat of a tricky crowd for libraries because they change so much each year. Each year there's different teenagers, and the difference between a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old is quite extreme sometimes. So it's the first year that we've had this many programs for that older youth group. So it's kind of experimental. We'll see how it goes. But we have cartooning for them as well, and also a bicycle repair workshop for teenagers. And also an art program that we're doing in conjunction with the art gallery upstairs from the library. We share a building, but so it seems like it would be good to do some programming together as well.
Right. And you had mentioned a little bit about adults. What do we have going on for the adults at the library this summer?
Yeah, so for adults this summer, there's also a book club. So there's actually 3 book clubs at the library that meet on different Mondays of the month. And that continues on through the whole year. So it started in the winter and will carry on into the fall. And people are welcome to jump in at any point if they're not here all the time, that's fine. And then this summer we also, as Shelly mentioned, there's a part of the summer reading club for adults. It's the second year we've done that, and they don't get to have stories read to them or do crafts, sadly. But every time you read a book over the summer, you're welcome to submit a little mini review of the book you read, like just a sentence or two, to the library, and then you're entered in a draw to win a prize at the end of the summer. And we'll be posting people's reviews on our social media as well, anonymously. But it's just something to make, to make adults feel like they're getting some kind of reward for reading as well, or some way to share with the community what they're reading. Right. Yeah.
So does that also, does it include reading, like signing out the books online and stuff too, or do you have to actually sign them out from the library? Yeah,
good question. No, you can read anything. It doesn't have to be a physical book. Yeah, so you can read something online as well. And the library provides access to, it's called eLibraries Manitoba. So you can access it through our website. Anyone with a library card can, and there's a really wide selection of books, like novels and...
I do that myself.
You do that? Yeah. You know.
Yeah. That's why I asked that.
You had a knowing look.
Yeah, whether or not, whether you actually had to physically sign out the book, or whether you could submit your reviews and stuff from stuff you've read from downloading the books and reading them that way.
Yeah, and a lot of people like the audiobooks too that are available through eLibraries and also through Hoopla. And then we have digital magazines through a service called Flipster, so you can read the current issues of your magazines too and comment on that. So
that kind of leads into, when we're talking about downloading and online and all that kind of stuff, it leads into the next point here of the roles of libraries and librarians and how things are changing. What did how did the role used to be compared to how it's morphed into kind of what you guys do now?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I guess I've had an opportunity to watch it evolve over time because I started working in the library as a student when I was going to university and then carried on. So you see the change from more the information piece of the library where you focused on, you knew when the science fair was on or what project kids were doing in school because you were digging through every book you could find to find the little piece of information that would help them. Whereas now some of those events can happen without you really being aware of it because of the online environment. So then the library has kind of transitioned into more of a community place, so the extra programming where it's not just about learning. So we do programs in the summer too. I did a Happy Birthday Canada party for kids yesterday, and we're doing one for cooking for kids and silly putty and that kind of stuff. So really kind of expanding what the library has traditionally offered. Yeah.
Because it used to be got a project to do, got to do research, I have to do,
Right.
go to the library. Now everything for that is pretty much online that
Yeah.
you can find and stuff. So yeah, to really, I guess, expand on the literacy portion of
Right. Yeah.
the library is kind of where you kind of head now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's,
Yeah, and you've watched the collection change too, because before you used to, be buying those resources to dictate to the curriculum, whereas now nonfiction is more information, and where kids are just having fun learning about something as opposed to having to read it for a school project. So the writing styles and illustrations have changed as well. So yeah.
So do you guys change your programs between school and not school for your reading and writing and all that kind of?
The children's programs, we offer far more children's programs over the summer because there's more demand and people are out of school and want things to do. Some of them do continue throughout the year though, or I should say we have a slightly different iteration of the children's programs throughout the year. And then the adult programs continue through the year. So the book club that I mentioned earlier goes throughout the year. And there's also an adult creative writing program that I'm running starting in June. It'll go until August. And I'm planning to offer it again in the fall. So it will sort of go in 3-month chunks. And I think that adult schedules don't vary as much by the seasons. So those don't have to be altered as much as the seasons change. The other thing I just was going to add about the role of libraries, I think a really valuable role that libraries play is that they're a free public space as well. And as Shelly mentioned, more things are online now and more resources are online. So we're trying to, remain current anyway by offering access to the online resources we were talking about. So with a library card, you can check out books online that you wouldn't have access to without a card. And we definitely see people coming in and using the library for studying or for working, if they're working from home, or as a safe place to be during the winter, uses like that, that I think are really valuable when there aren't a lot of free public spaces in most cities.
Right. So is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
No, I'm just thinking about the transition to fall. So we'll go from our summer programs. Our last one was, we started a few years ago, called the Back to School Bash. So we target kids, we celebrate, we do apple peeling and that kind of stuff and get them ready for back to school. And then we transition to offering programs for younger kids. So we have baby time and time for twos and the preschool story time. And then a few years ago, we started one for pajama story time, so kids can come at night if their parents are working. So that will be the focus. And other than that, we also program on the professional development days when the kids are out of school. So we'll do something around, it's usually one that's fairly close to Halloween. So we've done a spooktacular party and get to do the monster mash and all that, that kind of stuff. So very different. And then one of our favorites is always the kids' New Year's Eve party, where they get to pop balloons and blow horns and count down at 12 noon. We don't stay open till midnight, but lots of fun. So yeah, so just kind of that change where it can be, still about the stories and the sharing and the space, but still that fun element where you wouldn't expect it's not the in the library anymore. So.
Yeah.
I'll add one thing too that I forgot to mention over the summer. Another thing we're offering for adults and for youth, but mostly for adults, is that we have a bookmark contest that we're running this year. So anyone can enter. We have a little template people can pick up from the library, and you can do any kind of design, and then the staff from the art gallery will be judging them at the end of the summer, and then the winners will again get a prize and potentially get printed and made available in the library as bookmarks to pick up to put in your books. So
nice.
Just things that are like fun and make people excited about the idea of reading and continuing reading over the summer.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
hopefully you'll see a little bit of an influx of people coming in for your programs that you have going on this summer.
Sounds good.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.